Pathways in a vegetable garden can often feel like a hassle when they become overrun with weeds. The problem gets even worse when invasive plants like Bermuda grass take over. Not only do these weeds make the garden look untidy, but they also steal vital resources like water, nutrients, and sunlight from your vegetables. In this video, we're going to tackle the issue head-on and show you how to clean up your garden pathways while making it almost impossible for weeds to return. Let's dive into the process and give your garden the makeover it deserves. The first step is to clear all the weeds from the pathways. It's important to remove the weeds as completely as possible, including their roots. If you leave the roots behind, they'll grow back quickly, undoing all your hard work. To make the task easier, try weeding after a light rain when the soil is softer. For stubborn weeds like Bermuda grass, which spreads through underground runners, you'll need to dig a little deeper. Use a hand trowel or garden fork to loosen the soil around the roots and pull out the entire plant. It's worth taking your time with this step to ensure you're setting a strong foundation for the rest of the process. Once the weeds are gone, the next step is to create a barrier that will stop them from coming back. For this, we'll use materials you probably already have at home. Lay down a thick layer of cardboard over the entire pathway. Be sure to flatten it completely and overlap the edges so there are no gaps where sunlight can reach the soil. If you don't have cardboard, you can use newspapers, magazines, or even old clothes. The key is to make sure the layer is thick enough to block sunlight, which weeds need to grow. This layer will also break down over time, enriching the soil without letting weeds take over again. With the barrier in place, it's time to add a protective layer of mulch. Mulch is incredibly effective at keeping weeds under control, locking in moisture, and giving your pathways a tidy, finished look. In this case, we're using sawdust, but you can use any type of mulch you have available, such as dry leaves, straw, pine needles, or wood chips. The thickness is crucial for preventing any remaining weed seeds from sprouting. Take your time to ensure there are no thin spots where weeds might sneak through. After spreading the mulch, the final step is to sprinkle water over the entire area. This helps the layers settle and start working together to form a strong, weed-resistant barrier. The water also encourages the cardboard and mulch to decompose, gradually improving the soil underneath. Over time, the pathway will not only stay clean, but also contribute to the overall health of your garden. If you notice the mulch starting to thin out over the months, simply add more to maintain the thickness and keep the weeds at bay. One of the best parts of this method is how simple and cost-effective it is. Instead of throwing away materials like cardboard or old newspapers, you're repurposing them to create something valuable for your garden. The thick mulch layer doesn't just keep the weeds out, it also adds a polished, organized look to your pathways. Walking through your garden feels cleaner, and the space becomes easier to navigate and maintain. Plus, this method is entirely natural, making it safe for the environment and for your plants. This technique works well in gardens of all sizes, whether you're managing a small backyard space or a larger vegetable garden. It's also adaptable depending on the materials you have on hand. Once it's done, you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Your garden will look cleaner, more organized, and more inviting, all while staying free of weeds for months to come.